Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. I can't even get it up on my phone. I don't know if I'm streaming, talking to you, or what. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. We're having a complete and utter meltdown of the internet in the bottom of England. Just one little corner, just one very small bit. But I'm getting nothing. The phone won't pick up the Wi-Fi. iPad is picking up Wi-Fi, so I can at least tell you the table. If you can see or hear anything, we'll crack on. This is bad. I don't know if they're qualifying or not yet. I am ready to just jump out of a window. I don't know. Matt Psycho's leading this championship by 84 points. Homesick Alien is in second on 66 points. Skyjacker is third on 51 points. Fourth for Racer Brown on 45 points. Fifth for Normans on 41 points. Sixth for Jokers on 38 points. Seventh for Ensign Newer on 37 points. Eighth for Bazza on 27 points. Ninth for Pat on 26 points. 10th for Mrs. Guesty on 24 points. And 11th for Cthulhu on 22 points. 12th for Miami in 20 points. It's just popped up. It's just popped up on my phone. Right, it woke up. Skyjacker saying hiya. And Skyjack saying missed you. Matt Psycho saying evening. Matt Psycho saying not started yet. And Pat saying and we go again. Hiya. Yes, I've reset everything. Reset PlayStations. Reset bloody modems. I've done the lot. It's ridiculous. Now I'm on edge that this is just not going to work in any kind of shape, way or form. I've even forgot what letter I put. I was going to put N. So let's get in a positive frame of mind. We're here with the Furry Cup, round 5, and we're at Grand Valley Highway number 1. Not number 2, not number 3. It's Grand Valley High. Number 1. Has it got a high in there, or did I add the high? Grand Valley. I might be thinking of like Greece or something, the school they went to. Sounds like the school they'd go to. Highway. There you go, Grand Valley Highway. And there they all go. 15 minutes of qualifying. They have to use, they have to use their race start tyre in qualifying. Start qualifying on their race start tyre. But I mean, it's 15 minutes. They can pit and put in another tyre as well. So out there, Matt Psycho opting for a medium tyre. I don't know what else rules. I think usually it's just like you got to use. There is rules. I'm sure there is with the tyres. So softs may only be used once per race, and the hard tyre must be used during the race. That's the rules on tyres. 60 minutes of racing. Strap yourself in, boys and girls. Is Matt Psycho going to make it 5 of 5? Evening thingy, it's all working, says Mama Homesick. That's what she said. Matt Psycho then in the Peugeot. We've got Skyjacker third in the championship in the Audi TT Monster. Then Mrs. Guesty also in an Audi TT Monster. She's in the big purple Monster. Mrs. Guesty riding the big purple Monster. Bless her. Homesick Alien is in the Nigel McGann, the Renault Megane, and that's a take on the BTCC. I want to say 1998, could be 1990. I'm not sure. Mid to late 90s, because they were yellow and blue for a while, and then they went all groovy with this dark green blend 37. Back in the day when it was British touring cars. But it's a take on the Williams Renault Lagoons they raced in BTCC. Look at that, I sound like a wealth of knowledge. I know nout about racing. Pat there in the Not So Swift in 5th place so far, but it is only an outlap, and I've got to say it's a glorious track. I do like this track. Cthulhu, and it might be a debut for this track, out and about in the VRC streams. There we see the hard drivers going in to change those tyres to something a little softer. Cthulhu's already on those racing softs. He wants to start this race tooled up tooled up for action already, straight away. Bish bash bosh. Ensenua going hard, and he's taken them for a lap or two. He's taken them for a walk around. Not so hasty, put the softs on. He wants to go for a little wander on those hard tyres and see how things go. Mrs. Guesty is on a set of softs. I believe she pitted. Yes, it says out lap. So the two Audis pitted for softs. Home Scalian also pitting, but they will be starting the race on the hard tyre, as will the Bazinator. Jotas, he's come in with his pug to put a set of softs. He'll also want to start this race on the hard tyre. So in all seriousness, it's not out of reach, this championship. They get 20 points for a win, and Matt Psycho, I think, is something like 19 or 18 points ahead of Homesick Alien with 2 rounds to go. It's virtually over and done with. I mean, come on. But all the chat's coming up for me now. Yeah, sorry guys. Skyjack saying you okay? Streaming's good. Oh, thank you. But really, I think in reality, Matt Psycho's aims in this championship now is just to nail every single track to be ultimate Furry Cup winner. The winner of the cup. The full frontal. So Matty Psycho then has put fastest lap in so far, but no one else has crossed the line. They dare not cross the line yet. The Not So Swift has picked himself up a little damage, but it's shaken it off like Alonso's girlfriend, and has cracked on Catula. Talking about Alonso, look at him go. Hey, is that Catula or is that someone hanging out the back of Taylor Swift? I don't know. But if you bang one Spanish person, you bang them all. That's what I heard. Taylor. In the chat then, Racer Brown saying, hello my homie. Hello G. And Racer Brown saying, how are we tonight? I am tickety-boo. Tickety-boo. I got a little angry about the word, the name Craig earlier today, but I got over it. And I can't even remember why. It's about the way Americans say it, Craig. And it just makes no sense to me whatsoever. But then I just thought, either way, Craig or Craig, who wants to be called that? I'm sorry for any Craigs out there, but really, come on. What famous Craigs are you going to list? And don't throw James Bond in my face, because, let's face it, the 2 worst James Bonds have been Timothy and Craig so far. Oh, that's his last name, so he's Dan anyway, so he's alright. So what Craigs? Yeah, he's not really a big famous bloke, but he was funny on Red Dwarf. But still, if you're a parent and you're having a kid, if you don't want your kid to do much in life, call it Craig. Or Craig, if you're from America. Daniel Craig. No wonder I got it mixed up. There you go. So, but that was my thing today anyway. That was my thought of the day. What was the point of Craig? Craig David. Yeah. He went far, didn't he, with his seagull? I missed that. What's up with Craig? What's up with Greg? What happens to Gregs in America? Is Greg just not a name? Are they not like Gregory? So anyway, sorry. Catula's fastest man so far in his Audi. Oh, we got 3 Audis out there, have we?
Craig Charles.
Yeah, I know. The wife said Craig Charles, and you know, Craig Redwall. You're putting him in the mix, okay? I've got to concede on Craig Charles, but in all fairness, the only thing I ever liked him on is Red Dwarf. I wasn't really keen on his radio show. I'm not really into jazz, and I don't watch Coronation Street. So, and at the end of the day, if you've listened to the audiobooks, you don't need Craig Charles. Rimmer does it all. He can do it to a T. Just needed some Scouser. Sorry, Craig. So, Catula's pole, Matt Psycho is leading. Not leading, he's leading the championship, but he's second so far. You're all trying to think of famous Craigs, and there isn't any, is there? I've got a cousin called Craig. It doesn't help you in life, trust me. Homesick Alien. Who calls a baby Craig anyway? It's like, sounds like, that's what I thought today, is that it sounds like an enemy in Star Trek. Oh, by the way, talking of Star Trek, may the 4th be with you. Live long and prosper. But yeah, the Craigs, they sound like some sort of race in Star Trek that are enemies of the Federation. Watch out for the Craigs. Cthulhu just keeps on doing it. That's why I'm not bothering telling you, because Cthulhu's just smashing it out. Look at him go.
1 minute and 54.8 seconds, I reckon.
Oh, hang on. Racer Brown says it's going to be a 154.8. Well, he's almost there already, but he is needing a bit of fuel. Homesick Alien, second fastest. Sorry, I will keep up now. From now on, I promise. They were warming up before. There was no point talking about it. We had the Craig conversation we needed to have. I still want to know. No one's come forward with a famous Craig. And if Craig Charles is the most famous Craig, then Craigs are not looking up, are they? Wasn't there a big sprinter that was called Craig? Oh dear. Not even Olympics have got Craigs in, and that's where the nerds hang out. So Homesick Alien is second fastest with Bazza third. Look at Bazza coming to life in the Rocco. Let's watch him for a second, because what a delight. Camera really spanning back there. He's too hot to handle. Here he comes around the hairpin. Beautiful control of the car. That's a tricky corner. Comes downhill, and it's very difficult to keep braking down here because it's sloping. But Bazza has her under control. Look at it. That teeth may be gnarling and gnashing, but my lord, he is calm and collected with that control of the car as he spins her around a Grand Valley Highway. I must know songs about highways. There's that god-awful Hotel California, and they've got something about a highway. On a desolate highway, go over the Hotel California. I love the place. I hate that song, if you haven't guessed by that is my all-time top of my list of songs that if you could annihilate a song and make it disappear from history forever, Hotel California would be the top of my list. It is such a non-song. So Highway to Hell, Skyjacker, that's better. Yeah, I reckon. On the highway to hell. Get croaky voice. So Matt Psycho only third fastest. Is this it? Is this the run coming to an end? Are we seeing, or is he just saving it up? Bazza's fourth now, so Matt Psycho late blooming into the top three. Bazza there fourth. Mrs. Guesty, I apologise, is just taking a moment to go in the pit. Still got good time for a run there, but fifth fastest for Mrs. Guesty ahead of Skyjacker, half a second down. And it's so tight, that championship. I read it out really quick because we were having stream issues, but it's like 2 points between like the bottom 4 or 5 people. Anyone could move a good 3 or 4 places, so everything to fight for, even down near what you would say the bottom. Cthulhu's on 22 points. He's on pole at the moment. Then Mrs. Guesty's on 24 points, just ahead of him in 10th. Then Pat's 26 points in the Not So Swift in 9th. Bazza's on 27 points, just ahead of Pat in 8th. So, yeah, down there, it's not until you get to Ensign Newer. He's on 37, only a point behind Jokus. Jokus is here, sorry. So, there's everything to play for, all up and down the field. And Ensign Newer finding the inside. Craig T. Nelson. Do I know him? Do I have to Google him? Is he going to be a serial killer? Is he one of your dealer mates? Craig T. Nelson. Right, I'm going to Google. This is more important than bloody furry cups. Right. Craig, sorry. Craig T. Nelson, American actor. Come off it. He was in Summer. I do know him from Summer. Coach. I didn't really watch Coach. Oh yeah, he was the dad in Poltergeist, wasn't he? He's in Young Sheldon. Oh yeah, that might be what I've seen him in recently. Yeah, come on. You're putting him up as big famous... Oh, Poltergeist, there you go, he's just said. Okay. Sorry, I'll take it back. The dude from Poltergeist is called Craig, so... They're cool again. Cthulhu's leading this one. I tell you what, he's got this... And it's around saying lol. You've got time to be chatting in chat. Why are you not racing? Oh, yeah, no, he's all right. He has got a legitimate excuse. I'm not shaming him. He's got poorly girls. That's his daughter's. It's not a nickname for a body part or something. Homesick Alien second fastest with Matt Psycho aiming to do, I don't know, well, he's done the quadruple. What would be a 5? What would be 5? Five-a-rary? I don't know. 5. He's going for the 5. There's got to be a word for it. I'm going back to Google, but I can't. What you'd say for, like Quinn. When you do 4, you get the quad. But I want to know 5. I don't even know 4. What's the bloody... Yeah, it's quadruplets. But that's if you have... Yeah. Was that 6 or 5? I don't know. Cinco. I don't know a Spanish word. Hola, mi amigos. Soy Thingamajig. Mucho gusto. Buenas noches. Cinco. So Cthulhu, ironically, he's Spanish. He's on pole. And it's the final lap. It's the final countdown. Let me do a quick rundown. So Cthulhu's pole, Homesick second, Matt Psycho third, Bazza is in fourth. Great qualifying from the Bazzinator. Skyjacker has dragged himself up into fifth in the Audi. It doesn't look like the Audi's that strong. I say the Audi's not strong, it's on pole, so I hush my mouth. Pat's in sixth in the Not So Swift, doing quite well, a second ahead of Mrs. Guesty, and she is 1.7 seconds, but ahead of Ensign, but he's on the hards. And Jokus is ninth, and he's gone for softs. He's just not finding the rhythm. The rhythm's going to get you, Jokus, but it's going to get you halfway through the race when it's too late. But Cthulhu, my word, he's been away for how many rounds? Just the one. I missed him. Felt longer if it's only just one round. Where the lighters are you Spanish goddess? 2 rounds. He's been around. He's been missing for a couple of rounds, so... Yeah, here he comes. Around over the bridge. Homesick Alien's on a... No, he's done. Second. Matt Psycho's in the pits. Bazza's done in fourth. Skyjacker's on a run. Is it worth watching? Cthulhu's just coming up to the end of his run. I haven't looked at one person cross the line, so I don't know why I'm suddenly doing it now. And here comes Cthulhu across the line. He doesn't go any faster. Let's watch Skyjacker. Skyjacker on his run. Pat's just ahead of the Sky. Is there anyone else on a run? Mrs. Guesty's done in 7th. Jokus is done in 8th. Oh, sorry. Ensign Ewart's done in last place. Skyjacker is behind. Here we go then. Pat, he needs to find 4/10 on Skyjacker. Has he found it on this final lap of his? Crosses the line. No, he does not. But Skyjacker is now. He's lost it in the tunnel. Oh, my God. He's Grosjean'd it. As he lines it back up again and sends it down the line, but not to go any faster. But 5th place is still good. 5th, ready for a 60-minute race. Man alive, it's nearly past already. Oh, Patty was on. Patty boy, was out of fuel on that last lap, so he was never doing a run. So it's this man, Fernando Swift, is into pole position. But Matty Psycho hasn't always got pole, but he gets his win. Catula then pole position ahead of Homesick Alien. That is your front row, mighty, with Matt Psycho on the second row in third, Bazza in fourth, Skyjacker in fifth, sixth for Pat, seventh for Guesty, eighth for Jokus, ninth for Ensign Hewitt. And that has been a glorious qualifying. I think we've learned a lot about Grand Valley Highway and Craig's. George Russelled it. And yeah, Skyjack said fuel in it. Pat saying, as I was on the grid, almost made it. And Racer Brown saying George Russelled it. So, yes. What if there is 5 quintuplets then? Then that's what Matt Psycho's looking for today. And he's looking to take home a quintuplet of wins, trophies. Let me get myself sorted out. I'm too busy thinking of other things. So we're looking at Catula on pole, though. Can he ruin Matt Psycho's run? Great start from the Swift back there from Pat. He pulled into the middle there. Bazza on a rough start, down to 7th already. Joker's all up in his busyness. And Mrs. Guesty's stuck in the middle down there on the inside. Meanwhile, Homesick Alien's taken the lead. I apologise. Homesick Alien's taken the lead. Catula's slipped back. That Audi is a tough starting car. And Homesick Alien has jumped up into the lead on the racing hards. Matt Psycho on the racing mediums. We saw it last round. I think Matt Psycho started on the mediums. It worked out quite well for him. But Catula muscling his way back ahead again. He's on the softs. He's going for the double take. And that one, Skyjacker, put it down for taking the season around the outside. And oh my word, the Spaniard schools out. And Catula threw back into the lead with the mighty Audi. Homesick Alien, remember, on hard tyres with Matt Psycho on mediums, which made that move ever so easier for Catula, but still looked better. Oh, we got a Swift and an Audi heading to this corner very fast. And look at Pat on those medium tyres, pulling one on Skyjacker up the inside. Bazza's recovering nicely now, back into 6th, ahead of Mrs. Guesty. Ensign Hewitt in 8th on those hard tyres. And Jokus some 3 seconds down already, and they've not even completed the first lap. Come on, Jokus. Catula 1.7 seconds ahead. That's what the soft tyre gives you. And Matt Psycho harassing and haranguing the Alien like a NASA scientist with a scalpel. Won't leave him alone. Pat then right there in the busy end of this race, and it's great to see the Swift coming alive around these California mountains. So on board with Pat as he completes the first lap of this race, and he is up into 4th place. I don't know how many positions he's gained, but it's a lot. But he's got an Audi stalking him from behind with great horsepower as we see Matt Psycho pull an inside move on the Alien. The Alien trying to close the door, but Matt Psycho's foot was well and truly in there. And now the medium tyres are going to put Matt Psycho to work as the Skyjacker. I was waiting for Skyjacker to come by. He looked like he was coming at him with such a force from behind. I thought he was going to whip by into that corner, but Matt's, oh no, and now it's a mistake. It's a mistake from Pat, a small silly error, and Skyjacker's up into 4th with Bazza following him through in 5th in the Rocco. And there's a hard battle, a hard battle there to be had with Pat still on the better tyre. But oh, he's hit the wall now. Come on, Pat, straighten out. Mrs. Guesty closing the gap on Pat, and she's gonna scoop him up. Jokus now ahead of Ensign Hewitt. Ensign Hewitt's got rid of the hard tyre. He did not like the hard tyre. He's gotten rid of it. He's gone on to the mediums, and still Catula leads by 3 seconds with Matt Psycho in 2nd and Homesick Alien, who's playing hang on. with the racing hard tyres. He's just trying to stay with the two ahead of him because he knows he still has the soft tyre to use. And Matt Psycho still has the hard tyre to use. And so does Catula. But Skyjacker on those racing hard tyres in 4th place, keeping it real, keeping it ahead of the Baz. The Baz will be loving the back of that Audi. It's quite high for Baz this season. Pat in 5th place after that small mistake, giving him up a little bit of damage and giving Mrs. Guesty an opportunity to shine. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Here she goes, revving it up. Getting into the toe, up to 6th gear, heading over the crest towards the left slightly, then heavy braking for this first corner. It's a long hairpin around onto the bridge, then wait till the car straightens up, then flooring it again now. I think this is no lift down here, down the hill, up into 5th gear. There's going to be a little lift there from Mrs. Guesty. It is definitely how brave you are to take it in. Then heavy brakes again, another hairpin going downhill, so the braking is away from you. The car just keeps wanting to roll on, waiting an eternity to get back on that accelerator. Catula still leads from Matt Psycho, then down towards the left, just playing with the throttle all the way around, lowering it again down for a tighter corner, and then an even tighter downhill corner, and then it switches it around, and Pat's lost it. The gravity has got against him, and that is Mrs. Guesty gaining a position there as she guides us around a lap of Grand Valley Highway. And again, a downhill tight corner. It doesn't start downhill, it goes around over a crest, then down. Lift around here, waiting for the bridge, back on the bridge again, back on the accelerator, and we are 4 seconds away from Skyjacker, who's on the racing hards. Oh, Bazza's got ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker must have made a mistake. Under the bridge, up around a very tight corner, going uphill. You think it'll help with the braking, but it does not. It really does not. Here it's kind of how close you can cut these corners to get through, straight line it as best you can, floor it again to go over the bridge, ready for the final final tunnel and final bridge of the lap. Up and again, another tight corner under the bridge can be quite deceptive, slings you right out there, but Mrs. Guesty's got it fully under control, flooring it down the straight, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a lap of Grand Valley Highway. Delicious, great stuff. Thank you, Mrs. Guesty. Catula then, meanwhile, 4 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, who's now got 4 seconds ahead of Homesick Alien. So what are the lap times telling us here? The leader on soft tyres is managing early 55s, a 55.2 tyres, wearing a little bit more to the left, but there's an even wear there. There's an even wear. You want an even wear. It doesn't matter if they wear. I'm aware I'm wearing a wear a lot, but if they wear out evenly, then the car feels the same balance. But when you see them they wear one side or another, because either they've got heavy left hand or right hand corners, then the car feels a lot less balanced. So the tyre wear looks quite even there on the soft tyres, and he's getting 55s, maybe even faster. He might even slip that one into the 54s pretty soon. In that Audi, he's coming, he's miles away from the finish line, but so far in this race we're seeing that the soft tyres is giving you happy 55s, early 55s, maybe late 54s. Matt Psycho is sitting on a set of medium tyres, and he's doing 56s. I don't believe he's fuel saving. He's using a lot more fuel than the Audi. Not a lot, but a pinch more than the Audi ahead of him. I mean, it looks like he's getting about mid 56s with those medium tyres. 55.1 for Catula, just 56. No, he's not crossed it yet. 56.3 from Matt Psycho. So it's about a second a lap, giving up about 1.1 seconds between the medium and the soft tyre. Homesick Alien, it's tough. He's done 58s. The last one was a 59.7 though, touching the 2 minute, and I don't think that's where he wants to be. He wants to be that first lap, 58.3, but he may have been getting a toe on that lap. So it's true, he might be turning the fuel down as well on that 59.7. But still, I was going to say late 58s, even though he did do a 58.3. Bazza is doing pretty well on the hard tyre. He's done a 58.7. And Skyjacker also on the hard tyre, a 59.1 from Skyjacker. And he is looking after fuel. Pat's got himself back ahead of Mrs. Guesty, but he's on those medium tyres, remember, so a little bit more grip. But a 204 wasn't stellar. Jokus in 8th, 201. He'll be catching up soon, keeping those lap times in, with Ensenua going to the medium tyre, now getting 57 and a halves. That tells us not much. It's just there's about a second difference between each tyre. The hard tyre seems to be really bad. But you got to remember, it's a long pit lane. It's a very long pit stop here. Let's have a look at Ensenua, how far out that he is. Well, he's only 10 seconds away from Jokus. It's not terrible, really, is it? He didn't lose too much time in that pit lane, did he? I'm sure he did make another stop. Question of my own sanity. So, anyway, Katula 55.8 that last time around. Now, Katula, he's going to try and run and hide. He's going to play the strategy of, I am going to pelt this bad boy, build up as big a distance between me and those, and hope they can't catch me when they're on the hard tyre. I don't think we're going to get any surprises here. There's definitely not a rain setting for Grand Valley Highway. It's sun in the California sun. Fun. It's fun in the California sun. I can't remember. These Beach Boys. So Katula 6.5 seconds now from Matt Psycho. This is the problem with long races that are very strategic. Oh, but Baz is on a blinder, isn't he? And I don't think that's strategic. Him and Homesick, it's very nominal, the fuel. Homesick has got a little more than the Baz. Skyjack has had a big drop. Has he got rid of those tyres? No, he's broken everything. We can see if we can see, but I doubt we'll see. No, we'll see the end of it. It saved you. GT7's replay saved you there. So Skyjack has had a huge one. Humongous. Huge. Work on commission, right? Huge mistake. Humongous. Big mistake. So Skyjacker then limping in limp mode, trying to get his Audi's tyres back up to temperature. And meanwhile, Jokus is slaying those lap times behind him. And Skyjacker will have to pick that pace up, or Jokus is going to be all up and in his busy now. Walk in the park for the Spaniard. He's just flying. And Matt Psycho. 7/10 with a scrape on the wall. We heard it, Matt. We heard it. You might not think we noticed, but we heard a... So Matty getting very close to the walls here at Grand Valley Highway. Homesick Alien on those hard tyres. All he's got to do is try and stay as close to those leaders as he possibly can. He's dropped into the 2-minute zone now, and the Baz is in the 59s, late 59s. It's only barely tenths, but he is catching up with the Alien. So Baz on for a great race here at the moment at Grand Valley. Pat in 5th on a good one with the not so swift, and Guesty, Mrs. Guesty that is, 6th place ahead of the other Audi of Skyjacker, whom is second ahead of Jokus. Jokus not quite getting out the 201s. Skyjacker can get 59s, man alive. He let up a lot of time in that spin. That was a huge spin, wasn't it? It was a spin that lasted 17, 18 seconds, Skyjacker. So, Jokus then trying to find the sweet nut on that pug. It's not looking lively, is it, the pug? It's not looking as racy as we've seen it at some other tracks. It's not enjoying the high altitude of this mountain racing so far, whereas Catula's car is purring like a pussycat. Come on, little baby, come here. Ooh, Rabbit, talking about that. Is he come in yet, or does he want to sacrifice himself to the foxes? Because he can do. I'm sick of having one. Kids don't want him. Does anyone want a rabbit? In the stream, it's free. Don't care what you want to do with it. If you want to sacrifice it up to hell Satan, that's up to you. But just take it off my hands so I don't have to interrupt the stream to go and look for a rabbit. Give me one sec. Cthulhu doing a super job in that Audi, and he's probably getting a bit bored actually. He's probably thinking, well, we're having one of those weird lobby moments where there's no cars in this one. Matt Psycho on the medium tyres, remember? Matt Psycho still owes the race a set of hards. Softs is optional, so they don't have to use the soft. They'd be mad not to, but they don't have to. So the fuel glitch is coming on. He's still got half a tank of fuel, so don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little heads out there about his fuel. He's still got half a tank. It's great. Matt Psycho, he's burning through that fuel, isn't he? Oh, man. Absolutely chugging that fuel like it's no one's business. Homesick Alien. He's doing all right. He's doing a similar job to Cthulhu, a little bit more than Cthulhu. On those hard tyres, 31 seconds, not points. Oh, he's gone in. That's enough for him, he says. 16 minutes, what's that? He's going to do 2 long stints on the softs. Cthulhu's tyres, I mean, they're only half torn. He can still go a little bit longer with Matt Psycho. Bazza is now up to 3rd with Homesick Alien going into the pits. Bazza's comfortable with the hard tyre. Oh, he's dropped into the 201s though. I think a little bit of wear on those hard tyres really does kick them up. Pat's having an absolute blinder on the mediums. Now he's catching up with the Baz. And the not so Swift is doing superb. Maybe he's put Alonso juice in that Swift. And now she's singing like a pop star. So Skyjacker, after his 17-second spin, not his 17 seconds, his 70-second spin. He's probably had more than 72 spins, I tell you. But a Skyjacker back on pace. He's ahead of Ensign. Ensign's ahead of Jokers. What did happen there? What did happen there? Jokers did a 2:03, so Jokers lost a bit of time, 2 seconds, and Ensign knew it was there. I didn't even see how close Ensign was. He's coming to life on those medium tyres. Seems like the not so Swift, no good on hard tyres, but as soon as you put a set of mediums on, she's up for it. And Mrs. Guesty's been in, and she has put on a set of mediums as well as the Alien, Homesick Alien, 7 seconds behind Jokers. He'll be concerned. That wasn't the correct thing to do right now. Cthulhu must be. He's got the fuel, but he's not got the tyres for the stint, I'm afraid. Those tyres going away from him. Still doing 56.9 though. Matt Psycho 57.6. So, and the mediums are wearing as well at a similar rate as the softs. So the medium's not giving any advantage away up at all. You'd think Cthulhu's tyres starting to go away, that the mediums would get a couple of laps, a good couple of laps on the softs, faster than the softs, but no, not yet. We'll see on this lap. Those tyres do look gnarly. They look gnarly, dude. We are 19 minutes, shall we say, into this race. Cthulhu's led most of the way, probably about the first 4 corners. He got pole, lost pole, but on those soft tyres, he pulled a beautiful move around 2 cars, Matt Psycho and Homesick Alien. But he was on the soft tyre, so we have to be realistic. Wouldn't have pulled that move on the same tyres. And here he comes around. Now, what's his choices? Go around again? He's got the tyre, I suppose. He's got a little bit of tyre left there. Matt Psycho's in second. Bazza's in third. Pat's now in fourth. Skyjacker fifth. Ensign Newitt is in sixth. Joker's seventh. And Cthulhu does continue on with those tyres. And he's still doing 56 sixes. So no reason whatsoever to pit. And Matt Psycho, he has got a 56 a couple of times out of those medium tyres, but 57.1, still not gaining any ground, and his fuel is now flashing. So Matt Psycho, we give him the minimum of 2 laps this lap, and then he'll have to pit on the next lap. Cthulhu still has a quarter of a tank of fuel on board, so Matt Psycho's Peugeot burst the car. And Bazza just under the quarter fuel mark. He's still on those racing hard tyres. And he's still continuing on. And Pat comes in the not-so-swift from 4th place, which gives Ensign Newitt in his not-so-swift 4th, but he's got Skyjacker all up and giving him a rowdy old time. Skyjacker not even waiting for the slipstream, just using pure grunt of that Audi, and goes by. Can Ensign do something clever up the inside? And it's now the Audi on the inside, and Ensign Newitt's going for it around the outside, and Ensign wants to be a hero, but he is. He's still ahead, and Skyjacker smirks, a little smirk to Skyjacker's face, and thinks, that's my Padawan. Taught him everything. Ooh, look at them go, racing hard down here, and into the braking zone, the Audi, he's late braked it. He nearly took Ensign with him, but Ensign kept his cool, has kept up 4th place, and Skyjacker proper sent it. Oh, and we've lost the Jokas. What an absolute flaming shame. He's got I don't know what it is. His internet's probably worse than mine then. But Skyjacker then fighting tooth and nail with a young Ensign Newitt, and young Ensign Newitt has the answers. He's got the remedy. I've got the question, I've got the remedy. I don't know. Matt Psycho brings it into the pits. We did say he would be coming into the pits soon. And Bazza over 30 seconds behind. And if the 30-second tyre thing, that doesn't include fuel and tyres though, that 31 seconds. But we'll see. It's 30 seconds on Baz. If Baz does not pit, they should be roughly about the same. But with tyres and fuel, but no, Baz brings it in as well. He needs fuel, that's why. Ensign Newitt still good to go, and he's pulled away from Skyjacker. Homesick Alien cracking on with those medium tyres. Lonely race for the Alien at the moment with that early stop. Pat in the not-so-swift is 7th place, 5 seconds ahead of Mrs. Guesty, but we saw Pat was up in 4th, so every chance that Mrs. Guesty can follow him back up into that position. Bazza's in the pits then, he's lost position to Ensign. Skyjacker, Homesick Alien, can Pat catch him up? I shouldn't have thought so. Baz then just leaving his pit box, and he has opted for a medium tyre in this mid part of the race. 23 minutes we'll call it in the race so far, and 37 minutes to go, with Cthulhu still leading and still yet to pit, one of the only ones out there if you don't count Ensign Newitt and Skyjacker. But Cthulhu cracking on, the fuel is flashing now. Matt Psycho out on the hard tyre. And he's a good distance ahead of Homesick Alien, who made that earlier stop. Now Catula into the pits. Catula, the Audi, is in the pits, and he got the best use out of those tyres, didn't he? Matt Psycho 53 seconds behind. My word. Ensign Newer 8.8 seconds, but he's going to need a pit stop, as is Skyjack has done the best with fuel save out there at the moment in the chatty chat. Mama Sight saying hi, thingy. Hi everyone, bit late tonight. Go Matt. Oh, you missed all the action at the beginning with my terrible internet, and I had to close the stream down and start all over again. So what's Kadula going to go? Hard tyre, medium tyre. He's got medium tyre. Matt Psycho is coming around to the final corner onto that final straight, and Kadula is away. And Matt Psycho on the hard tyre is not going to be able to go forth and attack. So Matt Psycho, he's not used the soft tyre yet, but he is using the mandatory hard tyre, which Cthulhu has still yet to use. Ensign Newer is into the pits. Skyjacker stays out for another lap, but he's being caught very, very fastly by the Alien. Homesick Alien on the medium tyres. Did you forget about him? Because he made that early stop and disappeared? Well, he's back. He's back, baby. Ready to F some up. Right. Beautiful move from Homesick. Took me a while to find the keyboard button to go out of car, so I missed it. Ensign Newer still into the pits. Gets released now, and they've already used the hards and the mediums, and they've gone for another set of mediums, and why not? They were quite happy with those. Guesty, Mrs. Guesty, 9.4 seconds ahead of Ensign. 3.8 seconds behind Pat. They've closed up on Pat. Mediums versus mediums there. Bazza 5 seconds ahead of Pat. 14 seconds behind Skyjacker, but he's waiting for Skyjacker to make a pit stop as Homesick Alien up into third now. But he's going to be trying to catch up with Matt Psycho. And he did lose quite a bit of time to Matt, because remember, Homesick Alien was on the hard tyre and Matt Psycho was on the medium tyre. Now the roles are reversed, and Matt Psycho is now hard, and Homesick Alien is medium. But Cthulhu, he's gone medium all the way. No, soft medium. He's saving those hards till later in the race, still trying to build up a bigger lead for when he uses those hard tyres. And Matt Psycho just trying to keep some good lap times in, keep the Alien at bay. But remember, the Alien is yet to use the soft, but so is Matt Psycho, so we'll have a showdown at the end. Matt Psycho still chasing those quintuplets of trophies. He wants 5 of 5. He's got 4 of 4 so far, and this would work out very nice if he could get a win, but at the moment there's a Spaniard in his way as Skyjacker pulls into the pits, and Bazza gets the position back, and I think Pat's going to get the position as well. You go, Pat. I'm so slow, I don't have a something. I'm so slow, I don't have a sponsor. Very good. I think he's got a car of no sponsors on that one. If you read them, they're all non-sponsors. Pat showing his whimsical side, because we know Pat can make a car look like a real race car with his liveries, and he does. Him and Koi Kart probably livery up half of the field for Virtual Racers Club, so Pat having himself a little bit of fun. Instead of FedEx, it says Fed Up. What else can we spot? Honk on the back about something. It's too fast, Pat. The not so swift is absolutely swift today. The not so swift is swift today. It's a swift. Picks up the handset. That's a blast from the past. Let me get on with this. So Cthulhu leads. I think I was going down and only got as far as Pat. This is what happens. I get sidetracked. Mrs. Guesty up into 6th place so far. 6.8 seconds. She's lost a bit of time to the Pat. What's Pat doing? A 57.6. What black magic is this? So Pat is absolutely trouncing he's rinsing the lap times out there, and Mrs. Guesty a 59.0, very good, but losing time to Pat. And Ensign Ewer on a set of mediums, we know he's faster, he's doing 58s, so Mrs. Guesty might be alright up into the next pit stop. And we don't think Mrs. Guesty's used a soft tyre yet, and nor has Ensign Ewer. Skyjacker, he's gone for another set of mediums. He's right out at the back of the field, which is very surprising. So he was tucked up behind Baz when they were racing, and I don't really understand, unless he's had a big spin on his outlap, I don't understand how he's ended up that far back, because he wasn't that far behind Baz on the first stint. 30 minutes to go. We're nearly at halfway. Give it a few seconds or two, or 40. Catula still leading on those racing mediums. He has used the softs, but he has not used the hards. Matt Psycho is using the hards right now, but has yet to use his soft pair. Homesick Alien, he is on a medium set. He's used his hards, and he is yet to use his soft pair. Bazza, I forgot. No, he's done hards, mediums, and he's yet to use his softs. Pat also not yet used his softs. I think the GoPro says something like Go Amateur or something. Whereas you'd think it was GoPro would be Go Porn or something. Because let's face it, without GoPro, you wouldn't have OnlyFans. Guesty then. Mrs. Guesty, that was terrible. I'm not going to go to Mrs. Guesty after I talk about OnlyFans. So, Catula is leading this race. 17.1 seconds on Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho, 57s, late 57s, but still 57s on the hard tyre. I think that was better than what Homesick Alien was delivering. So, he's got a faster pace on the hard tyre than the Alien. And the Alien at 58.3, struggling to stay in the low to mid 57s with those medium tyres. And he's going to, kicking up a bit more dust. He's going to struggle to catch the pug up in this stint. The Bazinator on the mediums. He's staying in the 58s. He's got Pat covered off though. Pat dropping down into the 2 minutes. We saw he could do a 57.6. And that's giving Mrs. Guesty a great cause to celebrate as she's closing back up on the not-so-swift in the thirsty Audi. No, actually, I say thirsty Audi. It's the Peugeot that's thirsty today, isn't it? Because Skyjacker was the last to pit, I think, in that first stint. To his cost, it seems, with those hard tyres. When everyone was on the faster tyre, he seems to have lost a bit of time on track. But, Pat's kicking up the dust and knocking off. He's playing Rocket League. He's trying to knock those white things over the edge of the cliff. So Pat, another mistake from Pat, giving Mrs. Guesty. It's very difficult. I have to be careful what I say when I do Mrs. Guesty, because I say rude things sometimes, but by accident. I have to be careful not to. So, and Matt Psycho so far looking for win 5, but at the moment, I don't know if he feels that he can get that 18 seconds back when he's on the soft tyre versus Catula, who's had great pace so far on whatever tyre he's gone on. Look at that, he's getting 56s out of that mediums. 56s out of the medium tyre, and I don't think, well, he's on hards. Homesick Aliens managed that. He's early 57s, never into the 56s, so the Audi is rapid, and the Peugeot is doing a little better than the Megane. I think the Megane seems to be, I don't want to, Homesick Alien's a very skilled driver. We know he wins a lot of races, he gets a lot of podiums. So I'm guessing that the Megane is down on power here, down on something, not managing to get the lap times that the guys ahead of me are. The Bazinator, nothing wrong with his form, is it? He's looking absolutely cracking today. He's giving it some. He's giving it some, sir. Oh, yes, General. So, the Baz. And you know, it's a struggle. I haven't noticed him that much this season because he's camouflaged. You hardly see him. But you can see him today. There's not that much greenery around for him to hide in. And he is looking glorious. You should have brought the desert camo for this one. Baz. Desert camo you needed, not the green stuff. Get Mrs. Guesty in 5th, so Pat's dropped big time. Huge drop for Pat, 2:06. And that's Ensign Newer as well, closing up on Mrs. Guesty. He's going for the move under the bridge, and somebody stop him. Ensign Newer's on fire, my word. That rich energy is really giving him a kick up the butt. And he's up into 5th place now, but 16 seconds behind the Baz with just under 26 minutes to go. And Ensign Newer flying high ahead of Mrs. Guesty, who's got Pat to be concerned with now. Pat has got fast pace. We've seen he can do 57s on those medium tyres. Mrs. Guesty in the 59s on a reg. And Pat is going to be looking to try and get some of those 57s, at least 58s in, to try and gain on Mrs. Guesty. Skyjacker, a 58.4 on his mediums. And he's just not getting on with either track or car or both. Skyjacker. He is playing the long game though, remember. Skyjacker might be into this race before we know it. Cthulhu. He's on half a tank of fuel, racing mediums. He's got 20.5 seconds on Matty Psycho. He's smashing 56.7 on his medium tyres. He's absolutely destroying it out there. And I think Matt Psycho is going to struggle to get number 5. He's going to have to live with 2nd place on this one. Homesick Alien, I can't see him being able to do anything. Matt Psycho and Homesick will both be on the soft tyre, so it'll be like a fox hunt at the end there. Cthulhu being the fox, Homesick and Matt being the bugles, is it they use? Retrievers? Bugles? They'll be the hounds. They'll be the hounds. Matt Psycho, Homesick Alien, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. I'm not crying all the time, but you know what I mean. So Baz is slinging it, isn't he, today? He's slinging it, and he's got no one, really. He's racing. He's 19 seconds behind Homesick Alien, and he's 14 seconds ahead of Ensign Ewart. Ensign Ewart also slinging it. 57s in that not-so-swift. With Pat now back ahead of Mrs. Guesty, and Pat, he didn't really do a lap to warrant it. Homesick Alien in. He's loving his early pit stops now for his 2nd stop of the day. Homesick Alien. And is this going to be it for the end? He's going to put a set of mediums on, a set of softs, fill her up and go. He's trying to get the undercut on Matt Psycho. Watts Matt Psycho out there on the hard tyres, but Matt Psycho's not going to lose 14.5 seconds. But yes, Homesick Alien in early. Bazza goes up and into 3rd place. No one knows whose strategy is best. Beagles are for hunting. There you go, Beagles. Hey, wasn't that what Snoopy was? Snoopy doesn't strike me as a dog that goes chasing foxes. Just sleeps on top of his red box. So, Cthulhu. But yeah, Beagles. Beagles it is. That go hunting foxes. I'm all for fox hunting. They're vermin. So, Cthulhu. 22.5 seconds. Oh, you get your race and my opinions of Craig's and fox hunting. So, Matt Psycho, I'm sure I'm going to be scared to open Discord because I bet there's half a dozen Craigs saying, what's wrong with my name? Ryan? Did they forget the B? Aren't you meant to be Brian? I've got no place to speak. Half a name. I've only got half a name. The only reason it's famous now is because of bloody gigs. And do I want it to be, famous for a footballer that bangs his brother's wife? What gig's he banging his brother's wife? Yeah, well, Ryan Reynolds didn't make it famous. It's Ryan Giggs kind of, it was Ryan O'Neill, but no one else was famous with Ryan. And then Ryan Giggs came along, and then everyone suddenly stopped calling me Brian and started calling me Ryan. So, Cthulhu, leads this race with a Matt Psycho. Matt's a good name. Can't go wrong with Matt, can you? What, Matt? What, Matt? It's like mate, but not with the E on the end. I mean, you could also argue it's something you wipe your feet on and something that you paint your walls with. But Matt's a good name. Good one. Good one, Mama. Psycho. The Baz, Barry. Barry, you can rely on Barry, can't you? You can't go wrong with Barry. Barry Sheen as well. First name's Barry that comes to mind. And he's into the pits anyway. I'm getting obsessed with people's names, you know. Look at this. My references, I'm 46. What references do you want me to be using? Barry Sheen was God. Do you want me to start talking about is he Spanish? Mexican? Italian. He's Italian, isn't he? He's Rossi. Valentino Rossi, yes. It's so Italian, that name. Can't go wrong. Homesick Alien then, he pitted. Ensign Newart's having a good run. Remember, he's got like loads of fuel left. So he's going to keep on going. Homesick Alien's only 2 seconds behind him. Matt Psycho. 23 seconds behind Cthulhu. Cthulhu, no interest of a pit stop whatsoever. Is he even going to use the soft tyre? He could probably run to the end with that fuel, couldn't he? Wouldn't that be something? Didn't even bother with the soft tyre. Oh, he did have... No, he's got to use the hard. No, he has to pit. He probably could. He should have put the hard on, shouldn't he? That's what she said. He should have put the hards on in that last pit, because it looks like he's got fuel to go to the end. 20 minutes to go. I'm not sure. Half a tank will get you to the end, but you know what I'm saying. He's doing very well. Matt Psycho, just under a quarter of a tank of fuel, getting to the end of his hard stint, and Ensign Newark firing him off. Boom, 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 boom. He's shooting from the hip today is Ensign Newark, and he's doing all sorts of mischief up in the front there, causing a riot in the not so swift as it goes over the bridge. That is so scary in VR. It's so high up. Homesick Alien then 4th place in the not Laguna Niguel, because I mentioned Laguna earlier. And Ensign into the bits then, and I guess that's his final stop of the day. He'll put a set of softs on, and there's the other not so swift coming along, Pat, and he's got yet to use his soft tyre. Where's Mrs. Guesty gone? Mrs. Guesty's pitted, put the soft tyres in, and now we're going to see some sort of magic. Bazza stopped as well. He's gone medium. He hasn't used softs yet, has he yet? I haven't noticed the Baz using softs. He doesn't have to use softs. But he's gone for another set of mediums, and it's probably going to be the final run. We'll see. We'll see. Interesting. That's what I'm saying. Interesting. So Cthulhu leads this race, got pole, got fastest lap, gets the win, so he gets the t-shirt that we don't make. But he can pretend, like the races pretend, the cars pretend. He can have a pretend t-shirt that said I won all 3. I got the fastest lap, I got pole, and got the win. Has he though? Still 18 minutes left of this race, and Matt Psycho is now going in to put on his soft tyre. Homesick Alien is currently on his soft tyre, and it's race on for the final steps of the podium. Pat's having a knock with the wall. He's got not much fuel left. He's got Skyjacker hunting him down, and Skyjacker, the Audi, really very good with fuel today. Bazza out there chasing him down, didn't even bother with soft tyres. Can't be arsed with them. Says don't bother. And now Ensign Newark is going to make Bazza pay for that decision. Go on, Ensign, teach him a lesson. And Mrs. Guesty is gonna, I don't know where she's gonna end up, around about Pat's place when Pat pits, and maybe Skyjacker. Matt Psycho meanwhile out on the softs ahead of the Alien by what, 10 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 6, 5, 4, no, 5.5. 5.5. He's levelling out at about 6 seconds. He's levelling out at 6 seconds. Matt Psycho has 6 seconds on the Alien. It's tight. It's tight, and Homesick Alien 3/4 of the tank through. Matt Psycho a full tank, but we've seen the Peugeot very thirsty, very thirsty. Cutula a minute ahead of those guys, yet to pit for his hard tyre. Don't forget, he's got to use that hard tyre. Pat has come in, and it's all about him and Mrs. Guesty. Mrs. Guesty only just getting onto the start straight. Pat's been released. He's on the soft tyre now, and he's not quite filled. Oh no, he's on the hard. He hasn't used hard yet, as Pat. I apologise. So Mrs. Guesty on the soft tyre is just going to absolutely trounce him, isn't she? You would expect. And he's only just behind Ensign Hewitt, 11 seconds. But Ensign on those soft tyres, 10 seconds behind Baz, who's opted to go for medium. Maybe he had softs on at a different point in this race, but I don't remember seeing him on softs. Skyjacker, he's used the hards and the mediums, but I don't know how far. So he doesn't really have to pit if he can get that fuel. If he can fuel save, but I think everyone's pitted who's going to pit ahead of him, except for Cthulhu, who he's not going to end up ahead of Cthulhu. So fourth, if he doesn't pit, he knows Baz is going to catch him up with 9 seconds to go, though, and Ensign Hewitt's cutting into Baz's time. So for Skyjacker to try and fuel save this one all the way to the end is going to be pretty tricky. And now I've talked about it, I bet you he pits at the end of this lap. Cthulhu. He's down to a quarter of a tank of fuel, medium tyres, a minute and 1 second ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho, 7/10. He's pulled out on the Alien in that last lap alone. Homesick Alien doing a 56.4. I don't think we've quite seen the true pace of Matt Psycho in the Peugeot yet, as it's his outlap that we have seen so far. Skyjacker didn't pit that lap, so it didn't make me look too daft, but Bazza is going to catch him up. 57.7 from the Baz. What's Ensign doing? Ensign looks closer, you know. He's broken it under double digits. He's down to 9 seconds, and he's done a 56.5. Is that a second faster? A second faster, I kid thee not, than the Bazinator, and that means he's going to be upon him before the end of this race. I am pretty sure of that. Pat, meanwhile, on those hard tyres, ahead of Mrs. Guesty, but Mrs. Guesty on the softs, and she's going to be able to trounce sometimes now, and really get right on the back of Pat and make him think about things. So Cthulhu then, what's he going to do? He's got to use the hard tyre, and Matt Psycho, oh my God, Homesick Alien's had enough, hasn't he? He has, oh, he's thrown it all away. Homesick Alien. He's already done it. Gutted. So Homesick Alien then is not in the fight for that second place anymore, and he's driving for third. He's got Skyjacker behind him, but Skyjacker is either going to have to squeeze off, and he's got Bazza catching him up at a rate of knots, and I just don't think Skyjacker can bring that one home without a pit stop. But the Baz is chasing him down, and Ensign is chasing the Baz down. And at some point, we're going to get ourselves a little glorious race there. And Skyjacker, I suppose, how quick Baz is catching him up, he's probably best off pitting. I don't think he's used a soft tyre yet, so he could be quite a weapon come the end of this race. And there he goes, he's in. And that'll put Bazza up into fourth place. Great drive from the Baz today, but that fourth place might not be safe because Ensign Hewitt is bringing it. He's bringing his A game to the table, and he's not bluffing. He's got the pace in the not so swift. Another 56.7 as Bazza puts in a 58.8, even slower. Cthulhu into the pits. The leader is in the pits. Those Audis can go long, can't they, baby? And Matt Psycho goes fastest. He gets fastest lap away from Cthulhu. Cthulhu, he's only got one option, and it's hards. And Homesick Alien having a small off, pushing hard to try and keep up with the Peugeot. And I think that McGann is just beaten through pace and speed. Now Cthulhu on the hard tyres is going to be playing survival for the last 12 minutes of this race, as Matt Psycho tries to gain and gain. What's the difference between them at the moment then? It's It's nearly a whole straight, isn't it? Look, Massaiko's not even up and on the straight yet. Catula, what sort of pace can he hold with the racing hard tyre? He saved it for last. He needed to build himself up a huge buffer in the race, and Massaiko only just going down the pit straight. And Catula there with 27 seconds and 11.5 minutes on the clock. Massaiko might not be able to get race number 5, win number 5, sorry, of 5. And it looks like Catula has got it. But let's not say it too soon. There is still 11 minutes on the clock, and anything can happen. Homesick Alien then in that third, pretty safe from the Baz, who's 25 seconds behind, but Baz has got bigger problems with Ensign Newer on a set of soft tyres. Gaining. Skyjack has just put a set of softs on. He's got out ahead of Mrs. Guesty, who has managed to get past Pat, but Pat's had a couple of very bad laps there. And 2:05 is not optimum. He's gone into the wall again. He's not concentrating, is he? And Mrs. Guesty then up and chasing Skyjacker, but Skyjacker's on the soft tyre as well. So is Ensign Newer. It's Bazza. Bazza's the fox. And what does the fox say? Is that reference too old? That was nearly 10 years ago. About what does the fox say? There was a song from like 10 years ago or something. It's not 20 years ago. So Catula then. What a comfortable position Catula's found himself in. Having a nice little cruise around California. Around Grand Valley. Look at that messy pop. Someone's knocked all those white things on. That was probably Pat. When he was trying to play, what's that game? Rocket League. Everyone's made their pit stops down. Massaiko in second on the soft tyre. Homesick Alien, any chance he had of trying to get that second place away from Massaiko went out the window when he slung it at the barriers, and his tyres are going quickly. Can Baz play this straight? But Ensign Newer is looking after those tyres deliciously, and he's only 2.8 seconds behind the Baz, and the Baz better get a cold sweat on, because Ensign Newer is on his way. He's coming to get you. Skyjacker then 19 seconds adrift of Ensign Newer and 8 seconds ahead of Mrs. Guesty, whom is 38 seconds ahead of Pat. What happened to Pat? Pat had a bad one. Pat's playing the game. Let's see how much stuff I can get on the track before the end of the race. Cthulhu meanwhile 21-2. And it's dropping, it's down to 20s now, as Massaiko smashing in those 55s on the reg, and Cthulhu playing survival. Like I said, he's the fox, and he's the basset. Beagle, and Homesick Alien was the beagle, but one of the other beagles bit his leg. Can't move. So Bazza 27 seconds to try and catch up the Alien. He's got no chance. He's doing 58s and the Alien's doing 56s. It's the real worry is Ensign Newer at 57.0 last time out, as he chases down the Baz. Skyjacker, he should be safe from Mrs. Guesty, but Mrs. Guesty doing a 58.7, and that's got to give Skyjacker some thing to think about, a cause for concern. And Ensign Newer then, he's the man. He's the dude who's going to take 4th place before the end of this race. And he's not so swift. Looking quite swift today here at Highway Grand Valley 1. Definitely closing in on the Baz. The Baz better look out. He better watch out. Better not cry. So Ensign Newer onto the straight, getting a tow from the Rocco. And the Rocco, why did he not put soft tyres on, did the Baz? don't think he used soft tyres yet in this race. And I think the Baz would have been safe. 4th place, easy. He's just knocked off the big white cushion. And yeah, Ensign Ewart lapping it up, loving the grip in the Swift. And as he closes into the back of the Rocco, and really the Sirocco's helpless to do anything. Into the braking zone goes the Swift up the inside. Danny dare he dare. Moves up and into 4th place. 6 minutes. You did that a bit too quick. Couldn't you have strung that one out a bit? We've got 6 minutes of race left. So Cthulhu then, wow, 17 seconds ahead. It was 27, wasn't it? So he's dropped 10 seconds on Matty Psycho so far with 6 minutes left to go. And Matt Psycho's front left tyre starting to look a little aggravated. Homesick Alien, oof. Talk about front left tyres. That's one that doesn't look happy. But I think he's pretty safe from Ensign Ewart, who's looking after his tyres delightfully. And he's just moved on Baz. And is Baz safe from Skyjacker? Unless Baz has an off. I think he's safe from Skyjacker, who's slowly pulled away from Mrs. Guesty. And Mrs. Guesty seems very safe from Pat, who hasn't really enjoyed the soft tyres. He's had an absolutely blinding race with the hards and the mediums. As soon as he puts the soft tyres on, it went to pot. It seems, or maybe not. I'm trying to see where his pit stop is. That lap 24 isn't his pit stop, is it? That was just a very awful lap. Maybe it was. I don't think it was. Thank you for joining me in my internal conversation there. There's no need for any of you to have to deal with that, but I decided to share my little brain having an argument with itself. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? It says, yes he is, no he isn't. It doesn't get too intricate than that, my arguments with my head. So, Cthulhu, he's got it, hasn't he? He's got it. I can't see it. I can't see in the next 4.5 minutes what can go wrong. So he's got his hazards on, though. That's concerning. Maybe he's just going to pause it and let it drive itself to the end. That Psycho then giving it his all, but his tyres are just not going to make it, I don't think. I think he might be going fast now, but he's going to hit a brick wall and not be able to gain any more. It's down to 15 seconds, and he really does need Cthulhu to throw it off or something. But Cthulhu hasn't looked like any chance of that today. He has been cooking with gas. And Matt Psycho chasing, but he's not getting his fox today, ladies and gents. And that 5 from 5 is slowly slipping away from his reach, unfortunately. So Cthulhu out leading the way with Matt Psycho in second. Homesick Alien looking good for a podium, and Ensign Ewart good for 4th. It's going to jumble up that table lower down, I think. Bazza in 5th. Mrs. Guesty, I doubt she's going to move ahead of Pat, but she's going to be right behind him in the table. And Skyjacker, he's going to be caught a little bit by Ensign and Bazza. His fuel's not going to make it, is it? 2.5, 3 minutes, and his fuel's flashing already. He's just going across the line, so he's going to have to do another another lap after this lap. I don't think that fuel's going to... Keep at it, Mrs. Guesty, keep at it, because Skyjacker might not make it. Mrs. Guesty, full throttle. It's Guesty time. Or hammer time if you want, but why would you want hammer time? Guesty time. So Cthulhu smashing it out of the park, 13.5 seconds ahead of the Peugeot, whom has taken all 4 wins so far this season, and has been outclassed today by the Audi, or by Cthulhu. Homesick Alien in a close fight with that that second place, but it looked like when he went to the soft tyres, he had a bit of a spin, pushing hard. But I think the Megane just hasn't had that pace, has it, today? All out and out pace. Always seemed to be a bit slower when it's on the hard tyre, medium tyre, or the soft tyre. Just doesn't seem to have the pace of the Audi and the Peugeot ahead of him. And then Ensign Ewart absolutely slinging that Swift around. Oh, but Bazza's starting to come back. Is it tyres? 58.4 there for Ensign Ewart. 57.1 for the Baz. The Baz's fuel just starting to flash. And Skyjacker, he's making it. And Mrs. Guesty isn't gaining. So I thought he'd either slow right down and use up that whole 12 seconds he's got on Mrs. Guesty to try and eke that fuel out. Who knows? 50 seconds should be another lap in it for him. Cthulhu is 12.8 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. And Cthulhu won this race a long time ago, didn't he, really? On that first stint with the softs. With such a great run and great dominant performance in the first part of the race is paid dividends later. He hasn't been slow on either tyre. Look at that. He's been consistently in the 58s. With the hard tyre, and some of those other guys were drifting into the 59, sometimes 2 minutes. So Cthulhu has been on it from the word go, except for when the lights went green. He dropped down a couple of places, but soon got them back. And now Cthulhu starting his final lap out there in the lead. Matt Psycho coming up towards the line. He's gone over to the checkered flag. He thinks he's going to get the checkered flag. He is. He finishes in second place. Cracking drive. Homesick Alien gets podium. Pat crosses the line for 8th place, as Homesick Alien is still not there yet. Homesick Alien brings it through the final sector, over the hill and down towards, oh no, still some more, yeah, towards the checkered flag to grab a podium. He's had a podium every round. Take a boo, my son. Ensign Ewart 26 seconds down the road, only 3 seconds ahead of the Baz, but the Baz has got to look after his fuel, and this is a slam dunk chunk for our man Dan. 4th place. Great stuff in the not so swift with a very long straight at this track. The Swift has done well. Great stuff. Bazza brings her home. The Rocco in 5th place. And Skyjacker does have fuel. He does have fuel. He's ahead. Skyjacker, he's still got fuel. He's still brimming on. He has lost about 6 seconds to Mrs. Guesty. And Skyjacker still cracking on. He's on vapor, though. He's on absolute fumes. Coming around down the straight. He's had to mix that engine up, and is that, no, there is, oh, look how close the Audis were as Skyjacker crosses the line in 6th and Mrs. Guesty in 7th. Great drive from all concerned, but the best drive is this man here who's doing one extra lap, a glory lap we'll call it, for the Fairy Cup. And here he comes with a celebratory sway. And there we go. Cthulhu takes the win. Super stuff. Great stuff. Fernando Swift. Shake it off. Shake it off. I bet there's a blank space for you, Cthulhu, that you can write my name. So a quick look at the results and the chat. We've got it all kicking off. So Pat saying the big gap I had at the end was because I did an extra stop to get rid of the horrible hard tyres. And Matt Psycho says, great drive, Cthulhu. And Matt Psycho saying, Dan too. And Skyjack saying, well done, guys. Pat saying, finally got another famous Craig Breen. I've got to Google that one. How's that famous? If I Google it, it's not famous. What am I doing? Why am I at track? Oh, no. I've done something wrong. You were meant to see results. There's the results. Thank God they're still up. Craig Bean. Is that like Mr. Bean? Is Mr. Bean's first name Craig? That wouldn't surprise me, you know. Oh, Bryn, is it? Because I've took my glasses off. Oh, I can't see it. Yeah, Craig Breen. Oh, he's found someone who races Irish.
Well done, guys. Great
And what do
race.
the Irish call
Well done,
Craigs?
Thanks, Thingy.
Crag.
Cheers, Thingy and HS.
It's probably Crag, like Craggy Inn. It's probably Craigie Inn. Craggy. All right, yeah, there's a rally driver called Craig. I'll give you, Pat. Fair enough. So Catula there takes the win and ruins Matt Psycho's run. He was going for all the wins, but it's been halted, and I guess this one's going to be Matt Psycho's dropped round. Matt Psycho come home in second. Homesick Alien rounds out that podium. Neither of those two have been off the podium in all 5 races so far, so there is still that. Can they finish the season with podiums across the board? Ensign Newitt having an absolute super driver in 4th place. How did he do that? Bazza in 5th. Should have put soft tyres on. I don't know if you already used them and I missed it, but at the end there, that was crazy. You would have had 4th. So Bazza in 5th. Skyjacker in 6th, only just. He was on fumes, and Mrs. Guesty having a really good run at him at the end there. With Pat coming home in 8th, and Jokus had to scoot off for one reason or another. Either connection or just not into it. Who knows? And Mama Syke saying, well done, guys. Great race. Number 2, well done, Matt. Thanks, Thingy. And Matt Syke saying, cheers, Thingy, and Homesick. Yeah, Homesick hosting again. He is the host with the most, ladies and gents.
Very entertaining Craig race face with tears of joy.
And then Mama Homesick rounds it out saying, well done all. Great P3, Homesick. Thanks, Thingy. A very entertaining Craig race. Yes, we'll call that one the Craig race. I'm going to sponsor one of the races, but I'm going to just talk about Craig all the way through it. We're going to make Craig great again. Donald. Okay. Thanks for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. We had a beautiful time here in the valley, the Highway Valley. And it's been super. It's been smashing. It's been great. And if you want to know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the evening, same thing I do every evening, Pinky. Taking over the world. I wish a broadcaster and your commentator, Jack Meoff. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. Don't forget, we have got plenitudes of racing. I've got 100 replays. You'll get them dropped sooner or later. One day, I'm just going to blob out a load of replays, and it's going to be a speed fest of replays. But yeah, there's things that I've got to do, things that I'm going to do. There's things that I'd like to do. But I couldn't tell you about them right here because gravity is against me, I'm sure. Skyjacker saying Craigslist. Yeah, but it's not Craigslist, is it? It's Craigslist. And that's what started this whole bloody thing in the first place. Because they should have called it Greg's List. Like Greg's girl. Okay. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Mayman shrugging. Lovely racing.
And Skyjacker saying meh, and Bazza saying lovely racing. Now I'm done. Craig, could I have a cup of tea?